Anyway, we said. Good evening and welcome to another Q&A tonight with me, Adam Smith. At a later time, I think we're doing it in the evening now. Hope you're all well, hope you're staying safe. Thank you for tuning in on whatever platform you're watching on. Don't forget we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter as well. And we have been asking for questions over the past couple of days that we can put to Zoe Tyler, who I'm going to be chatting to you in just a few seconds. If you've got any that you want to get in for right now before we start, get them in, comment below. Alternatively, you can send a message to the Joesph Facebook page or Instagram. But easiest way is probably to comment below, then we can see it. The production team can grab it, send it to me, and we can ask the question to Zoe. Now, I've got to tell you, there's a quiz on Friday and Keith Jack tomorrow. So we'll give you more details on that later on in the Q&A. But let's go global with Joesph right now, all the way to Florida. My second home. To Zoe Tyler. Zoe, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can. We're global.
Global. It doesn't sound as nice, does it, when I'm saying it like that in a Yorkshire accent? How are you, my love?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very jealous of you right now because I know where you are in Florida. I know what the weather's like. I know how amazing it is, and we're here in miserable Yorkshire.
Yeah, but you've had lovely weather, so you can't be too jealous.
It's not the same.
No, I know, but it's really hot right now, like 31, I think. What is it outside? 31 degrees.
Do you want to rub any more salt in the wounds, Zoe? Do you want to?
Do what? No, I need a breeze.
Well, good evening to you. I know right now, obviously, it's 7 here, but it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon there. Are you ready to be questioned with all these questions that have been coming in?
I am. I'm ready to. I've spent all morning trying to find one of those filters that take 10 years off you, and I can't find one. So that's that.
I did, and I had doggy ears, and I thought I can't really use that, so I'm having to just be me.
So this is it.
Right then, Zoe, let's get straight into it. No pressure. I mean, we've put the rest of them under pressure this week and asked, and last week, loads of questions that they weren't expecting. Some good ones, some questionable ones. So let's get into it. Loretta Clues. Do you need to exercise your voice and practice piano every day while this coronavirus is stopping you from working?
Well, I'm lucky, really. I think because I do. I mean, I sing a lot. I sing every day, and to be honest, if I've got nothing to do, and let's face it, at the moment we've got nothing to do, I do sit at my piano and have a little tinkle. And it just soothes me, really. It feeds my soul. You know, I have to sing. I don't sing as much as I used to. In fact, I said to my son the other day, I'm really missing just blasting out. I think the last time I sang was doing this for you guys and trying to get it ready. And I do miss it. Yeah, I really do. But do I have to practice? Yes, we all have to practice. I mean, my piano playing's okay. It's not bad. And if I'm doing a new song, then yeah, I do have to practice, but I don't play it as much as I should. I'm naughty.
Do you maybe have a bit of practice around the pool?
No, I don't practice around the pool. Not the piano. Anyway, look, the piano's here.
I saw it behind you. I can't see you right now. We're having some, but I can hear you, so that's okay.
Oh right, okay. No, I'm not by the pool doing this interview, darling. We'd have no viewers then.
Oh, yeah, but it's just, you'd rub it in, wouldn't you? Just make everyone as more jealous. Going, you're in lockdown and I'm here around my glamorous pool.
Yeah, yeah. In my what? In my bikini dress. No.
Well, as I came on the chat tonight, one of the production team were putting pictures of you in a bikini up.
Yes, well, he's just being silly, isn't he? There was one of the many magazine diets that I used to do when they used to say to me, will you do a diet and promote this? And then I'd have to do it because you had to have a photo shoot in your bikini 6 weeks later. So trust me, you do it.
Fair enough.
I don't have to do that at the moment. So I'm all right. We're okay. We're only up to here.
Debs Davis has asked a question. Who's the best person you've ever coached in your career? Now, I know there's so many, but if you had to choose one.
The best? Oh God! I mean, there's the best. There's the most fun. I mean, I think people that really need help. To be honest, not any of the celebs that I've taught. You know, I can name some people that I've taught, and for different reasons that have been fantastic because I've been in awe. Probably Freddie Flintoff, to be honest. Hello, that wasn't so hard going.
Okay.
I find. as a vocal coach for me, somebody that's really struggling with something, and then I can fix it for them, and just to see that the joy in their face when we finished, and that just gives me the biggest buzz ever. So that's the great thing about coaching, I think. Doing your job and seeing the results, that gives me a massive high, more than any celeb that I've coached, I think. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. Paul Williamson, will you be doing any Facebook Live shows?
What's that?
Will you do? Well, you get Facebook and you do a video.
No, I know, and I know so many fabulous singers do it,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I mean, my family are like, when you sing us a song, I'm like, I can always sing you a song down the phone. I don't know. I might think about it. I'll see. I'm on a different time zone to you as well, aren't I? So I'd have to do it. I'd have to do it probably early in the morning. But it's not a no, and it's not a yes.
I'm sure a lot of your fans that are watching will be very excited to hope that it is a yes.
My mother will be there, won't she? My mother will be there watching.
We will get to your mother, Zoe. I know she makes an appearance later on in this Q&A. Are you dreading that?
No, it's fine.
Classical crossover artists and fans page. What is your favourite song?
My favourite song probably to listen to would be any Streisand, I think, or any Whitney. Yeah. My favourite song to sing, I like to challenge myself. So probably my favourite song is normally my latest one that I've learnt to put in my show. And for the last couple of times in March is Lady Gaga's "I'll Never Love Again."
Beautiful song.
And it just sends me when I sing it, because it's new, I think, because it's fresh. But I still love singing songs that I've been singing for many, many years. I still love singing "I Dream to Dream." I still love singing "Somewhere" from West Side Story. So but it's just new blood. I think I get a kick out of.
Yeah, I suppose it's also the songs as well. With you being for musical theatre for many, many years, when you're singing the iconic songs, like your Barbra Streisand and stuff, when you get these new ones that come through, like "I'll Never Love Again," these are ones that are also going to stand the test of time. So if you learn them now while they're fresh, in years to time when you perform them, they're still going to be current and still going to be as iconic, I imagine.
Well, exactly. I bring songs back. I bring songs back that I've not sung for 10, 15 years, and they're fresh to me and they're new for me, and I fall in love with them all over again. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Jack Appleby, what was it like being a judge on talent shows such as How Do You Solve a Problem, Any Dream, etc.? What was it like?
A dream come true. An absolute dream come true. How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria it was a huge task for me, because I was on my own with the girls all week, and it was the first run, so it was a test, so to speak, and it was such a huge success. And Joesph, it was just, when you've been singing somebody's songs for years, the Lord Angelo, whoever's songs, and then you're working with him and sitting with him and being friends with, you just think, can life get better than this, really? It was a massive part of my life, probably one of the best times I've ever had. And it was also, don't forget, my first TV show, big TV show. So it was really nerve-wracking. And I remember myself and David Ian, who was on the panel with me for How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria, we were just about to go live for the very, very first time. I think they'd done 2 or 3 pre-records with me, with the girls and Maria's school, and we're just about to go live, and we just looked at each other and went, this is big, this is huge. And I just had a moment of like looking down at myself going, this is crazy. And then it just blew up, and then Joesph was even, if not more popular. Yeah. And it was a different take because we settled into it then. We knew what we were doing. But we just had such a laugh. It was just brilliant. John Barrowman, of course, who I love, Denise Van Houten, and the second one, and David Ian on the first one. And obviously, one of my favourite people in the whole wide world is Graham Norton. He's the nicest man ever.
Yeah. I remember watching it. It was so much fun. Yeah, he looks so young. Right. Andrew Lloyd Webber looks no different, does he?
No, Graham looks so young on that, doesn't he?
He does indeed, yeah.
What a dreadful...
I like it. Brings back some memories, I imagine.
in one of the questions, but of course that was the first time. That wasn't the first time I'd met him, because I'd already done Joesph for him years before that, but it was the first time that we worked together on the panel. And it was just a treat. I mean, the stories will never, the memories will never, ever leave me, ever.
Career highlight, possibly?
Massive, huge. Yeah, top one, number one.
Brilliant. Selena Johnson, I would like to know, what is your favourite musical that you have been in and why?
Oh, favourite, well, I'd say most challenging was playing Eva Cassidy in the story of her life, because I remember I'd been out of it a while because I was on Loose Women for so long, and the TV stuff, so I couldn't do theatre and musicals. And I got the script through, and I read it through, and I thought, I don't know whether I can do this. Wow, this is going to be a massive challenge, because it was a huge acting role. And then, you know, singing 15, 16, 17 Eva Cassidy songs, you know, and I love her voice. I'm a big fan. So it was scary, because she's one of my idols vocally. And also it was a massive challenge dramatically as well. So that probably, and it was exhausting, you know, crying every night and singing those songs, and I was just exhausted. So probably that as a challenge. Most fun was Fame. I liked Fame in the West. I played it many times in different on tour, and then back in the West End, and then another time in the West End. That was a huge amount of fun, because, well, I remember I was the dance teacher at first.
Yeah.
And somebody said to me, it was actually one of the brilliant West End choreographers, Cadburys. She said to me, Zoe, you can't do your opening scene. You will study ballet, jazz, and walk along with sickle feet. You can't do it, darling. You need to learn to turn out. So I started off doing the dance teacher, and then went back as the English teacher, and got to sing the big, beautiful gospel song, These Are My Children. So I did that for many, many years. And so that was a huge part of my life. Loved it.
Fantastic. Somebody just said in my ear, could we get you to sing maybe a bit of an Eva Cassidy song?
Which one?
YouTube. I mean, Somewhere Over the Rainbow is the most iconic one, isn't it?
Okay. Somewhere over the rainbow way up high in the land that I heard of once in a lullaby. That was nice and low.
That was amazing. Loved it. That was fantastic. People are going to be going crazy in the comments. Going, that was amazing. We love you, Zoe. It was beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that for us.
Pleasure. Woo-hoo. Didn't warm up today.
You couldn't tell. It's perfect. On point. Tony Bablis, as a vocal coach, do you find it makes a difference when you are playing a leading role?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. It now it does. I think I know my voice now more than I've ever known it in my life, and I love that. I love knowing that I can make a choice on the next line. You know, if you're tired, that's a huge thing. And Eva Cassidy, I really had to dig deep for my technique, singing every single night all those songs. And so I think, yeah, massively. It's so easy to hurt your voice in the West End, you know, and on tour 8 shows a week, especially if you've got, you know, the big belty Elphaba roles, for instance.
Oh yeah,
those toppies, and I mean, yeah, I'm grateful for my knowledge. It makes me happy knowing, you know, if I'm feeling a little tired. For me, it's tiredness. I could always sing through a cold. I could always sing through certain things, but for me, being tired. And I remember when I went back to Fame. I finished Fame when I was 5 months pregnant with my
wow.
child. had one, and I went back and I said, yeah, no, I'll come back. Yeah, it's fine. Like when he was 6 weeks old, not knowing at all anything about having a first child, let alone having a really, really naughty, screaming baby who never slept. So I went back, and I was literally hanging by a thread, and I used to have about 3 hours broken sleep a night and had to belt out, these are my children. And I remember thinking, you know, I've just got to change my voice. And obviously having a baby, really, I mean, he was massive. So I was huge. I never had a diaphragm for months, had to build it back up again. So those times like that, I had to really rely, because I was virtually nearly voiceless, because basically because of the lack of sleep. That's what gets me. Nothing else. I can eat a 5-course meal before a big old concert. Like nothing gets me like sleep. It's so important.
Just true professionalism, isn't it? If you're there and you're having to battle through these so many things, whether it be a lack of sleep or whatever, that's what I guess where professionalism in artists come through.
Well, it is hard because the audience don't know. You know, you've got, yeah. Sometimes I used to bring him in with me, and I hear him screaming in the back thing. So you know, you've got to do what you've got to do, and you know, when you're a working mom, you know, I had to do it, and so you do it, and at the time you just think, oh, you know, I've got to get through. But it was hard, and yeah, at that point I was glad that that I could mix it up, really.
Yeah, thank you. Molly Batten, do you still keep in touch with any of the Joesphs?
I
Really?
do indeed, yes. I spoke to Lee actually recently about some stuff that we were doing together. I still speak to the lovely Keith Jack and Chris Barton, and Lewis Bradley. We're always in contact. We speak on a regular basis, and you know, they're all fantastic singers. They're all amazing singers, and it was so nice to, you know, it's been years, hasn't it? And we're still friends, and we're still mates, and we're still, you know, have a chat, and they just make. Yeah, I actually met up with Chris and Lewis. We were all giving it large in LA like 7 months ago. I was there for
showbiz, Jim, showbiz.
Well, they were. It was very showbiz. I was like, look at us in LA having dinner. But it was so nice. They've not changed a bit. So
Good.
that's good.
Thank you. Steve Cotsbett, another part of your career has been a session singer. Who have you worked with? And do you have any fun stories of who you've worked with?
God, session singing. Yeah, I loved session singing. And I think it was those times that I really used to, like when I was young, my dad used to make me go to all these music lessons. And I hated it. You know, I wanted to be out with my friends. I wanted to be out partying. But I was learning the violin and the piano and the cello, and just, you know, had so many arguments with him. But he made me go. And I tell you what, in between musicals, I was so grateful for his discipline, because, you know, if you're sightseeing and you read music, you can go off and do session singing. You can go off and do backing singing. You know, it was so important for me. So that was a really nice. I had so many amazing nights. Probably the best one actually was, pick that name up off the floor, Elton John. Elton John's. No, this is the best one. Elton John's white ball. What was it? Tiara ball, whatever it was called. White time tiara ball. Years and years and years ago. Yeah. So he was at his house, and there was him, Barry Manilow, and I'm the biggest Barry Manilow fan ever.
Legend.
And Donna Summer, and we back in sang for the three of them. And
wow.
Do you know what? I was looking for the picture the other day, because I'm sitting here just making collages of photos up, and I couldn't find the picture. And there's one of Elton John on his piano and me just looking at him like that. Oh. With the mic. Yeah, like so starstruck. And I can't find it.
He's such a legend, isn't he? Now, talking about Elton John, what's he been like working with him? Because you hear so many different stories, whether he's a bit of diva, he's a professional. You know, from you who's worked with him numerous times, what's it like working with him?
Well, Elton John?
Yeah.
Well, it was fine to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everybody can be a diva I think people like to think people are divas, and some people like to be known as a diva, don't they? Um, but no, I mean, he was lovely. He was charming, and it was just amazing to be in his house. It was fantastic. And Donna Summer, of course, she sang MacArthur Park. And which I love, and one of my
brilliant song, yeah.
Like, yeah, could you mind just doing like the high notes, girls? The oh no, that bit. And yeah, it was incredible. I've had some really, really good moments, and I used to absolutely love vocal coaching on children in need every year. I did it for many, many years, and so it used to be the cast of EastEnders or the cast of this, and different people that were singing. That was always an amazing night, just incredible. Great cause, obviously, but just a fantastic time. So I've been really lucky. I really have, and I never took anything for granted. I always just used to think, I am so lucky to be able to, do so many different things, and that's all down to my dad cracking the whip.
Yeah,
you will go to your violin class at 7.
I bet you hated it at the time, didn't you? But now when you look back on reflection, you kind of like, if it wasn't for him and his persistence, you wouldn't have had these highlights.
I wouldn't be able to play. I wouldn't be able to play instruments. I wouldn't be able to read music. I wouldn't, so I do absolutely thank him for that, So I do thank him a lot, actually. I do thank. He's up there. He's not here. He's up there. So I always think that he's got my back. Yeah.
Yeah, completely. Of course.
He's thinking all that bloody money I spent on us. You best be doing well with it.
I'm sure it's not like that.
Oh yeah, might be.
Now we can't go over without not talking about the time in the West End, especially Fantine in Les Mis. Talk to us about that.
Well, I was the understudy. That was my first job.
Yeah.
So but I'll tell you how I got it, because that's a funny story.
Please do.
I was 18, and I was a cabaret singer all across the country. Started at 15, so I came in and sort of doing that before I went to college, and I used to earn a lot of money for a 15, 16-year-old doing we used to call it the cabaret life. Go to Blackpool and do Blackpool shows and stuff. I had a fantastic time. So, and then I auditioned for Opportunity Knocks. Bob says Opportunity Knocks.
Yeah.
And I was 80, I was still studying. And I think they picked the song. No, I sang 2 songs for the audition. And they said, we'd like you to sing Out Here on My Own from Fame. So that was the song I got. So it was fabulous. Loved that, was really nervous. And then he used to do a little interview. So he said, what would you like to do, Zoe? And I said, I'd love to be in Les Mis. It's my dream, And then I got a call from the casting people when I got home, saying, we'd like you to come and audition for us. So I was like, oh my God. So I went to London, because I was in Birmingham, and I got there, and there was this massive big queue, because it was an open audition, and I didn't quite know how it worked. I had no clue at all. So I stood in this line for 2 hours, and I literally got to the stage door, and they said, sorry, we're full, that's it. And I remember thinking, but they did call. So I did the bravest thing I've ever done in my life. I wasn't a brave 18-year-old. I was, quite timid, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I went to a phone box. Remember phone boxes? Or you put money in the hole. And I got that, and I got this number, and I just said, could I speak to Nick Allett, who was the guy that called me in the first place? And they said, can I take a message? No. And I said, oh no, he called me. I sang an Opportunity Knocks 2 Saturdays ago, and they said that I'd like to come down and audition, and I can't get in. And I was literally shaking. And then she came back and she went, that's okay. Yes, go back to the stage door. And I went to the stage door, and they said, oh, Zoe Tyler. And I went, yes, and they let me in. The bravest thing I'd ever done in my life.
And it paid off.
And I'm so glad. Well, not that year. No, they said I was too young. Come back the next year.
Oh, okay.
And then I went back the next year at 20. But I started off as Factory Girl, first cover Fantine, which is great because you have to learn your craft.
Yeah,
You
of
have to
course.
learn it. And it was my first, it was a different world to me, I didn't want it to end. I remember thinking, I want to do a matinee every day. I mean, it doesn't last, let's be honest. But like for my first 6 months, I was like, this is fantastic. And then, of course, you get the call when they say you're on tonight, and you get to play the iconic role that I used to dream about, when I was 18. So it was fabulous. I learned everything during that show, and I owe it all to the lovely director, Matt Ryan, who believed in me and said, "Come on, this Brummy girl from Birmingham, let's give her a go." And it was amazing, yeah. And I'm still friends with some of those guys in the cast as well. I was 20.
Yeah. Wow. So 5 years then, Zoe, yeah?
Been busy for 5 years, loved, and I've managed to fit it all in.
Danielle Locke now, she wants to talk about Loose Women. Now, obviously, you've done the musical, you've done session singing, but Loose Women, it's still around now. It's still as, well, loose as ever. What was it like being one of those chatty women?
Open, really. Good chatter, and I'm quite open anyway, so it sort of came naturally. I went on as a guest with when I was doing Joesph, so I went on as a guest, and then it went from there. And I went and did a trial, 2-3 months, and just that again, that changed my world. And I was on there for over 4 years.
Wow.
And just loved it. Got myself into trouble lots of times, obviously.
I can imagine that, because obviously when you said you really open on it, I've ever wondered. I mean, I've only watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's not aimed at me, but if there was there ever a time where you opened up to the point where you go, I've said too much. I shouldn't have opened up that much.
Yeah, many times. Yeah, and I'd wait for the phone to ring and and then I'd just think, I'm in for it. I'm really in for it. I think, but I think impact. I mean, women love it. Women are great at chatting. Women need each other. We need our best friends. We do. And I think, what happens in your life, it's important to share. That was probably one of the most things. I was a single mom at the time, and I'd gone through, and I was going through disastrous relationship after relationship, which, I used to share. I used to share on air, because it'd be like so many other millions of women going, it's not that easy. It's not. Oh, there we are. Oh, we won a national TV award that night. That was another tick list. That was like, wow, I can't believe we won a national TV award. Yeah.
So I can imagine that Loose Women, it must have been an achievement when you're saying, you don't want to open up so much, and you're able to relate and, touch people, through the TV show. People go, I'm in the wrong relationship, I shouldn't be in this, or maybe you shone a light on it and then said, well, actually, no, this is a relationship I don't want to be in. Do you think you helped a lot of people? Do you ever get any feedback from people going, what you said, I relate to, and I made a change?
Oh, we used to get it all the time. Yeah, we used to have it all the time, depending on what subject, especially ones that were so, important to me at the time, because it was hard. I was a working single mother, and I did both shows, How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria and Joesph, as a single mother with with a minimum help, because my family didn't live in London. So it was heartbreaking at times to leave your son when they're hanging off your knees. Nobody understands like another woman who's in the same position. So it was an important job to share that. The only thing about, I think I missed singing a lot. I mean, luckily I jumped straight from that into Eva Cassidy, and it straight away I thought, wow, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I miss singing, I missed singing a lot but you can't do everything all at the same time. You can in America, I think, but when you're in England, when you're a vocal coach, you're a vocal coach. Then I was a presenter, and so, everything in small doses. But I think fingers in pies are good, keeps you interested, keeps your life interesting anyway.
Keeps you on your toes as well.
Keeps you on your toes.
Talking of obviously being in London and from Birmingham, Lisa Ann Masterson, she's from Hall Green in Birmingham. Where are you from? Just wondering what area.
Kings Norton. I'm near the not too far from the chocolate factory where they make the best chocolate in the world, and I would pay for some Cadbury's chocolate right now. You
It's
have
available in
no
Walmart. You can get
idea.
it in Walmart.
No, you can't. It's not Cadbury's chocolate. It's an American version of. There is
Oh,
only one Cadbury's chocolate. I am literally gagging for a double decker. Honestly.
true fact. I know this is completely irrelevant. I know exactly where you can get that.
What?
It,
In
in
America?
America, not right now because it's closed. But if you go into Epcot and you go into the United Kingdom, there's a shop in there, Twining's Tea Shop. They have Cadbury's chocolate in there, including double decker.
Yeah, well, my best friend Tina sent me a care package this time last year, and it came, and I opened it up, and I literally poured out the chocolate. I didn't think she quite realised how hot it was, even at the post office. But the thought was there. But you know
Yeah,
what? I just poured it. I poured it. It still tastes the same.
just like a hot chocolate.
It was just liquid. Beautiful. Thanks,
That's
T.
brilliant. Now we've spoken about Loose Women. We've spoken about the West End and judging. Is there a role you'd love to play on the West End that you haven't played or Broadway?
Yeah, I think I'd love to do with one look, I'll ignite a flame. Norma Desmond.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You get to a certain age, darling, you've got to forget about some roles that you never got, you know, and work on what you could do. Mamma Mia, perhaps. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, those two. Just a big old get your teeth into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
right into it. What else we got here? We've got. Can anyone learn to sing, or have you ever thought, "God, no, I'm not helping you. You're beyond help."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to mention names.
No, you can't teach somebody who's tone deaf to sing because they cannot hear what you're singing. So
True.
it is a complete and utter waste of time. And I'm not good at lying really as well. I can't do that fakeness where people tell people they're fabulous but they're out of tune. You can say it in a nice way,
Yeah,
but I can't help you because you're not hearing what I'm singing. You're not hearing what I'm playing. There would be no amount of fee you could charge somebody for an hour singing lesson who was tone deaf because, but at the same time, good for them. Just don't have singing lessons. Carry on your singing because it feeds their soul, and it's a proven fact that the older generation as well, and some dementia patients in homes, when they hear music, it's a completely different deal. So as long as I think singing is so important for everybody.
yeah.
Regardless of whether you can or you can't, I think you should still do it. But regarding teaching it, yes, it's pretty tough.
Yeah,
I would. I probably wouldn't advise any other singing teacher, but I'm sure they don't really come in contact with too many people that are tone deaf.
lucky them. Deborah Davis, she lost her voice and she's worried she'll never be able to sing again. I can talk, but wondered if you have any advice for that situation.
Gosh, that's a massive fix. It is a massive fix. You need to do all the doctor's exercises first. I know somebody else. I've taught a lot of singers who have recovered from nodules. A lot of singers, and
It's quite a common thing, is nodules, isn't it?
It is a lot, and I can tell when I hear somebody sing that they've had them because there's an airiness, and it's awful for a singer to go through. But they have to do speech therapy. They have to do their therapy, otherwise it's just it's really, really hard. It's hard. My pupils, that it's just frustrating for them. But she just needs to. Oh, here we go. I've never been able to sing. Oh. But you can speak still. That's good. It could be worse.
Yeah.
I think listen to the doctor. You have to follow the advice and do the speech therapy. Speech therapy is really important if you've got a nodule, especially in younger kids as well.
Yeah. Thank you for your question, Deborah. Now, here's a lady you might know here, Zoe. June Tyler. This is your mother, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, the name gives it away slightly.
Mummy Tyler has a question for you.
She's asking me questions.
Are you ready for it?
Go on.
Here we go. June Tyler,
I bet
Zoe's
it's
mum.
about my hair, innit? Because she's a hairdresser.
How did you get to be a judge on How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria? And subsequently, Any Dream Will Do. When did you realise that you wanted to sing and entertain?
She's asked all that.
Yeah, she's got her money's worth there.
I mean, I speak to her every blooming day. She's missing me, bless her. So how did I get the job? I actually was, because of coaching for all the time that I was in the West End. And David E was a producer. So I know certain people who used me sort of to help them with their audition songs, or if they were struggling when they'd got their job in the West End. Yeah. And yeah, I got an email saying, would I come and have a chat about being the vocal coach? And I wasn't going to be on the panel initially. I was just going to be the vocal coach working with the girls. And I went, and they said, you know, if you're a bit harsh, that might be good. I said, I'll be whatever you want me to be, like.
Yeah.
So, it's exhausting being harsh though. And then it worked out, and then it was just a dream come true. I'll never forget the moment the phone rang. I dropped my little boy off at school.
I was going to say you dropped your little boy then. I was going to go, don't tell us that.
Drop my little boy going. Yes, it was just I couldn't believe it. I just ran into the house, dropped him off at school, and they called me, and I was walking back up, and I sort of just thought, what? I had to go for a screen test, obviously, as well, to make sure that it all worked and it gelled. What was the other part of the question? Mum, I could tell you this later, love.
When did you realise that you wanted to sing and entertain?
We'll ask her that.
Well, can we get her on?
When did I realise? Do you know, weirdly, oh wow, I wish I could get it to my phone. Weirdly, in this lockdown, two people who I'm not in constant contact with by any means have sent me photographs. One was a photograph of me in a school play when I was 9. Somebody just sent me a random, said I did a school play with you when you were 9 and they sent this picture, and I was like, oh. And then somebody else sent a photo of me playing Eliza Doolittle when I was 12. So I obviously knew then that I loved singing and performing, and I'd already started my my 3 instruments at the time, so I always knew that it was going to be something to do with music. I didn't really have any interest. My whole family are hairdressers, and you know, as you can see, I thought she was going to call up and go, "You've been cutting your hair again, haven't you?"
She's going to lecture you.
You're absolutely right.
Thank you, Mummy Tyler, for your question.
Thanks, Mother. Now stop now.
she'll keep coming in. Jamie Buckley, when you were talking about, obviously, people being in touch with you over previous performances, he wants to know, can you tell him when you played narrator?
Okay, so the first time, I played it twice. The first time was after City of Angels, so I must have been, I have to count up the years. So 21, 22, 23, 24. So I must have been about 25. I played it the first time with the lovely Richard Swearen, who is no longer with us. Somebody told me, and I was so thrilled to find those photographs of him because he was great. And the second time was with the lovely Chesney Hawkes about 6 years ago. Played it with Chesney and the
one and only.
Well, I know Chesney, aka Benjamin Button, who just gets younger by the years.
He does, doesn't he?
Absolutely crazy. Can I just hold 1 second? This dog's doing my head in. She's very needy. She's gonna have to come in. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
There. She's scratching my leg because she wants some attention.
Bless. Diva dog. We had a diva dog with Rhea the other day.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one with the diva dog. She wants to go out, but obviously you can't, and it's too hot.
All right, we're bitting a bit more. Right, moving on to Tanith Messenger. She wants to know, what was it like working with the late Richard Swearen, and did he play any tricks on you?
Richard was naughty, but just a lovable rogue. Yeah, I mean, I was very young. That picture's a treat. I don't know if you've got it.
It
I
might be
look
coming
so
up.
young, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I think someone's got it somewhere. Um, he was just. I mean, he played it for years, didn't he? He played it so many times, and so many people knew him. So it was a real treat for me to meet him. Thank you. Oh, cute doggy, someone said. He was, yeah, he was very naughty. I can't remember a specific naughty trick, but yeah, I'm assuming there were many because every time think about him, I just think, yeah, the word naughty
Yeah, troublemaker.
in a nice way.
We've got another question now here. Deborah Davis, would you ever be a judge on The Voice?
Oh, bring it on.
Yeah.
Of course I would.
Which one though? UK or US? Because you can go either now, can't you? You're an American and a British.
Yeah, I mean, I do. For me, my heart's still in England, in the UK. I'm thinking up some projects right now, and I don't really, I did my very, very first American TV show last year.
Wow.
In La La Land, and it was very different. I was a judge on a TV show for CBS.
Yeah.
And it was very different experience, fabulous experience, but completely different to what I was used to. Hollywood's very different.
Yeah.
It's full on. It's full on, as in, I used to say to people I was working with, don't you ever just get in your gym jams and put your feet up at night and chill? It's not a chill place. It's not what you go to Hollywood for. So
No.
I think my ideal eventually, I think, would be 7 months. No, it's probably 6 months. 6 months and six. I like being here because I like the weather, but I go back a lot. And I wanted to school my son here, and now he's finished. So the world's our oyster, really. I miss working in London a lot, and I'm hoping to spend more time there. If I ever get allowed back in on a plane.
Fingers crossed. You might be quarantined for 14 days, but you'll be allowed back.
Well, I know, but that's no fun, is it? I want to go and see a bloody musical. I want to go and see. I had so many plans. I was supposed to be flying July the 1st.
Yeah.
I had so many plans to see some fantastic musicals. So
it's unprecedented times, isn't it? But I think one of the best thing, I was chatting to both Darren and Rio about this, I think one of the best things right now, because of this lockdown and everything, it's giving people who have got the passion to entertain online to still entertain no matter where they are. They can't do, and it's bringing the passion from the performers still to the viewers no matter where they are, which I think is phenomenal.
You know what? I absolutely love the fact that people are doing their lockdown shows. I love it. Bring it on. I've never been to so many shows in my life in one day. Like,
and you don't have to get dressed up. You can just sit there in your sweats, like you said.
You're absolutely right. I love it. I mean, I bring it on. We have to. We've got to get. We have to perform. And some people are being negative about it. Oh, stop it now. It's enough. No, it's not. It's never enough. No. In fact, you want to sing, you sing, because there'll always be somebody appreciating you. Always.
Yep. Even the tone deaf people. Even somebody's going to appreciate them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Antoinette Pennington, at what point did you realise that Lee Mead was a star?
Oh, pretty much straight on. Yeah, I mean, he was beautiful, and his voice the first time he sang to us at the audition, it was like, but there were 3 or 4 amazing singers that came to the fore. But yeah, absolutely. At the beginning. Well, same as Connie, really.
Yeah.
But so much talent.
Do you look back at them now with a sense of pride? Being proud that you were there. You've seen them blossom to where they are. There must be a sense of pride and so proud of them, like a mother thing.
Yeah, I've got loads of kids, mate. Loads. Yeah, I mean, I really do. I'm so proud of the success of all of them, because just because they never got to play, they never got the role that Lee Mead got at the time, doesn't mean to say that Bill never gave them the role of playing Joesph on tour. Lots of them played the role, and that is just lovely, because that was what their ultimate game was at the beginning. So, and they got to do that. They got to play their dream roles. And the same with Maria, to be honest. You know, you don't have to, sometimes you don't have to win to make yourself a fantastic career. So
I think if you're talented and you stay focused, the world can be anything you want. You can get
be
any role you
grateful.
want, I guess.
You got to be grateful.
Exactly. Monroe Colville Stewart, there's a long name. Did you perform at the Grand Opera House, Belfast, with Richard?
Do you know how long ago this was? Morni? Hang on. What's your name?
Morni.
Morni.
I've got Monroe there, Morni now.
Morni. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. It was a very long time ago. I could have, but it's not sticking in my memory. No.
Okay.
But thanks for asking.
Fair enough, yeah. Tina Batten, talking of obviously Joesph and Maria. Did you think the best Maria and Joesph won on each show?
Oh. Tina
That's putting you under pressure, that, isn't it?
I thought in both shows there were probably two or three that could have done the roles. In each show, I thought Lee looked beautiful. Connie looked like Maria, and from the beginning really. But it became pretty obvious towards the end. We thought, yeah, I think they're probably going to win. I think people are going to vote for them. But I always, Keith Jack, who came second, he was fabulous, and Helena, who came second to Connie, was equally as fabulous. So, I'm not answering that, Tina Batten.
Yeah, that's a diplomatic answer. Thank you very much, Zoe. Now, before we let you go, there's been one question that I've asked everybody who's involved with Joesph, and only a few people have got it right. So it's your turn now. So here we go. Oh. Can you name all the colours of the coat in order, and how many are there? And you can sing it if you want.
I got it wrong last time I did it. Can I just tell you something before you go? Actually, talking about getting the colours wrong, I got the names wrong one night. When he goes, Joseph was the eldest of the children of Israel, Simeon and Levi the next in line, Naphtali and Issachar and Asher and Dan, and Zebulun and Gad. So it was Zebulun and Gad. And I went, Joseph was the eldest of the children of Israel, Simeon and Levi the next in line, Naphtali and Issachar and Asher and Dan, and Zebedee and Dan. And I called him Zebedee. I don't know what it was. Zebedee from Rainbow. And I remember them absolutely howling with laughter. But anyway, the colours. Oh, okay. It was, no, probably not. Red and yellow and green and brown and scarlet and black and ochre and peach and ruby and olive and violet and fawn and lilac and gold and chocolate and mauve. Cream and crimson and silver and rose and azure and lemon and russet and grey and purple and white and pink and orange and blue. Where's this coming from? I don't know. My brain's exploding.
Hang on. You was right. Well done. There we go. Leaving it on a high. That's perfect, Zoe.
Self-praise is no praise, but I don't care. I don't know where that came from out somewhere. No, I don't know how many there were. Sorry.
You performed under pressure. You nailed it. Zoe, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you tonight. Thank you very much of rubbing it in whilst you're there in the Sunshine State. We are looking forward to seeing you as part of this amazing performance that's happening very soon. We've got Keith on tomorrow, by the way. Have you got any stories about Keith that we could put to him?
Lots. But I might, I'm going to text you.
Yeah, put the questions on tomorrow whilst we're doing it.
I'm going to give him some blooming tough questions as well.
Do it. Zoe, stay safe. Enjoy the sunshine.
Stay safe too.
And thank you so much for chatting to us. Take care.
Thank you. It's been a joy.
Bye-bye, my darling. We'll be back with you tomorrow chatting to Keith here at 7 o'clock. If you have any questions for him, please get them in right now. You can send messages to the Joesph page. We'll get them ready for him to answer tomorrow. It's been a pleasure. I've been Adam Smith. Stay safe. Stay alert. Can't stay home anymore. And we'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Ta-ra.